Welcome to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. I'm here with my partner, as always. I notice he's got his hat ready, glasses ready to go. You cleaned them off earlier. Maybe you're going to put them on for the results of last week and maybe even for some predictions this week.
You know the rules. I will say this, the waters are a little choppy.
Okay.
You can feel them.
You can. Hey, Tate, cross country. Big meet this past weekend. Also, football, we're going into region play. It's starting to heat up a little bit.
Heating up. District, region play, you're right, district play. Volleyball, man. We kind of said it at the beginning. You know, is Nolansville like the macho man? The cream always rises to the top. I'm not willing to say that preseason until I actually see it. I don't know. A lot more ammunition for has Nolansville taken over as top volleyball program.
Well, the Middle Tennessee Classic this last weekend, 7-0, and a win in the championship over Houston. Houston, what kind of program we're talking? One that went to the championship 2 years ago, was knocked off by Brentwood in the championship. You know, they had that win over Siegel. I'm just telling you, it's Nolo right now. It is.
Nolo's carrying the torch. Pretty neat to watch. Hey, and you know, I can't wait to see what happens when we get to the state tournament. But wow, how cool would that be to have a WCS all final, which I think is very possible. Going to be very cool.
Queen of the Court. That was also a tournament this past weekend. Independence wins that particular tournament. They get a win over Green Hill in the finals, and I thought this was good for Franklin. And Coach Beebe doing a nice job there. They had a couple wins last week, including in that tournament they had a win over Independence.
Yeah.
So Independence had one loss, and it was to Franklin. So good job by Coach Beebe as well. She's getting her feet wet in WCS volleyball.
No doubt about it. Brought some, you know, she's put some infused some excitement into the program, and she's, you know, first year, young, energetic coach, been in college. She comes from a family that knows a thing or two about competing. So yeah, they're going to be fine. That was a nice win.
District matchup this past week, Independence with a 3-2 win over Page. Couple of out-of-district contests, Brentwood with 3-1 win over Page, 3-0 over Summit. In that particular matchup, Ashley Miller, 12 kills, 9 digs. Dylan Salser with 24 assists. Summit, Elisa Ellerman with 16 digs. So volleyball getting rolling here. How about soccer, Tate? Jessica Mancini in Ravenwood is saying, not so fast, Franklin. Everybody's talking about Franklin, but we're here to play too. Had a 2-0 win over Independence. Sarah Kate Roth to Gracie Hill for goal 1 on that particular night. They also had a 6-0 win over Summit. They tied Houston. Houston, again, in soccer has been an elite program. They also have a win over Clarksville. So I like what, if you read what they say, a little swag from, I mean, they've won back-to-back titles. Why wouldn't they have some swag? But they're saying, hey, we embrace this back-to-back. We're looking for 3 in a row.
Yeah.
The old hat trick, so to speak.
Yeah. We're what they're saying is, hey, you think we've become the hunter and not the hunted. We still think we're the hunted, but that's okay. Now we're the hunter and the hunted. Hey, Sarah Kate, on those, she was the Gateway Tire Athlete of the Week.
Yes.
Multiple goals and assists in the Summit win, goal and assist in Houston, multiple assist and a goal against Clarksville. That's, you know, that's like rushing for 150, 200 every game. She went off.
She did okay.
Yes.
Franklin, big 4-0 win over Summit. Megan Robleski with a couple of goals. Avery Brown. Yukino Watkasuki with a goal.
Yes.
Been practicing. Hey, let's talk a little golf. And again, another not so fast. I've been talking about Franklin, the Franklin boys with the real shot to win it. Well, what did? They dropped matches to Brentwood and Ravenwood, so they must be watching the show out there getting motivated. But in that Ravenwood match, Michael Hack with a 36, Connor Caparos a 38, Finn Carto a 39. Franklin did defeat Brentwood, but Ravenwood's girls, again, I've been talking about Franklin. Ravenwood girls also defeat Franklin. Couple of nice scores there. from some Ravenwood golfers too, Tate.
Yep, Hannah Ruth Walton, 35, Emily Nelson of 42, and then on the Franklin side, a name that, you know, if you don't know it by now, you just haven't been paying attention. Sophia DiPaolo Franklin, 34 and 37 in those matches. I did notice, I saw that on Twitter, that Franklin dropped those games, and I thought about that. Not so fast, my friend.
Yes.
Mr. October, no, we said it's Mr. September. Mr. September's been paying attention. He said the pundits can pick Franklin if they want to, but we're going with Ravenwood.
Never doubt Teddy Craig.
Mr. September.
Never doubt him. Brentwood boys and girls also had a win over Nolansville, so Brentwood trending in the right direction. Now, cross country, this was a big event. The Voiles Classic, I think is that run out the Hermitage, and some different, maybe some different locations for different classes, but I know the Hermitage is one of the spots there that they're running. Boys AAA. I mean, look at the WCS finishes. 16th Summit, 15th Centennial, 14th Nolansville, 6th Indy, 4th Franklin, 3rd Ravenwood, 1st Brentwood, and the AA, 3rd for Fairview. So nice showing by those teams.
No doubt about it.
What about some of those finishes for the boys individually, AAA and AA? Tate?
Callahan Fielder, Brentwood, numero uno.
That's a new name too, right?
Yes, it is.
So
we don't rebuild, we reload. David Brown, Franklin, Will Johnson, Ravenwood, Parker Harris of Franklin, Bryson Biskner of Ravenwood, and Connor, this name you've heard before, Vanderkolk, Brentwood. He was 9th.
That family's done okay.
Golly. I mean, they must just go out on like family runs and take off.
I mean, probably
run to Cookeville and back.
Very much in the vein of what the Qualls family has going with triathlons. I mean, when you're talking about Middle Tennessee outdoors and triathlons, you got to think of the Qualls name.
Speaking of the Qualls family, I learned a new term. Can I get off track here for a second? Dr. Qualls, Dr. Drone, sent me a video of his son Major, who is a heck of a mountain biker.
Yes.
At the I can't remember the name of the meet, but he showed me a video of 3 kills on the video. A kill is a pass in mountain biking. I did not know that. Did you?
I did not.
Yeah,
I did not.
I knew kill in volleyball, but 3 kills. I knew kill when he's in the turkey blind whacking those turkeys, but 3 kills. Hey, he might be the best mountain biker in the family. So he's got a great job, Major Outdoors.
Very, very, very good job.
Yes.
Hey, let's talk boys AA. Matthew Andrea, Fairview finishes 9th. Girls AAA, you've got Summit 17th, Centennial 11th, and then the top 5 was all Wilco.
Right.
Franklin, Ravenwood, Indy, Nolo, and winning again, Brentwood. So Brentwood keeps the streak alive in girls cross country. They haven't lost a meet in like 2 years. They've got it rolling.
They've got it rolling. Hey, and as impressive it was on the boys, yeah, you just mentioned it. The top 5. That means no Siegel, no Cookeville, no, the top 5. Domination.
In AA, Fairview finishes 4th. When you're talking about these individual results too, look at that AAA line. You've got Haley Stegall 9th, Nolansville. Circe Mooney 8th. Then the top 6 are all Wilco.
Yep.
Jordan Rail, a name we know, Ravenwood. Peyton Strauss 5th, Rachel Halls, Brentwood 4th, Brooke Till 3rd, Brentwood, Lydia Cromwell 2nd, Brentwood, and Claire Stegall. That's a name I broke out on you a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
A freshman, she wins the whole thing. Think about this. One of our best is Halterman. I think she finished 11th. She's not even in that list.
That's crazy.
And she can pick them up and put them down pretty good too.
She's saying just wait till the spring. We'll run the mile, the 2 mile, and we'll talk then.
Lauren Sloan of Fairview, Alyssa Andrea of Fairview, 6th and 3rd in the AA side. All right, Tate, let's talk a little pigskin, a little football. Brentwood, 13, Father Ryan, 26. Brentwood's up 7-6 at the half, but 20 unanswered points by Father Ryan in the second half. Some positive highlights, Jake Brock, an interception and 2 forced fumbles. So there were 3 turnovers from Father Ryan. Jake was involved in all 3. Davis White, 20 for 33. 259 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Aaron Walton, big night, 11 receptions, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns. Doesn't get any easier this week either. Wow.
No.
Summit.
Well, I think a couple of things that you can be encouraged by is one, the Blackman game, they turned the ball over 6 times. Turned the ball over 0 times against Father Ryan. So that got better. They're up 7-6 at halftime, So I don't know. It was crazy. The running game was so effective against Blackman, and it was almost non-existent against Father Ryan. So, you've got 2 games now to look at and look at the things we need to work on and fix. Got to put those things together. Been telling you, Aaron Walton is as big of a threat as anybody in the WCS Sports Conference. They found out Friday. You got some really good evidence of just how explosive he can be. Davis White, 20 for 33, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns. They just couldn't stop the Father Ryan rushing attack. That's what it came down to. And been telling you, Jake Brock on defense, told you he's around the ball. He's a hitter. He's physical. And like you said, 3 turnovers. He had a hand in all of them. And he's going to have to do that in every game for them to, get where they want to go. And then Jackson Lowe with 10.5 tackles. So a lot of positives. I know the final scoreboard wasn't what you wanted, but, some things to work on and some things to build on.
Week 3, and it's already gut check time.
That's right.
I mean, it's a tough opponent coming in.
But hey, man, you've talked about that and basketball, right? You've always said that. The Brentwood High kids, they just play hard, man. So it's gut check time, but they'll rise up. It's going to be a tough challenge, but at least you know what's coming. There's no surprise what's coming, right? So
no surprise at all. Hey, calling Coach Kreisky to the deck. Coach Kreisky, report to the deck.
Heard on the show that the Pickers said that we were going to win, but not. It wasn't going to be a boat race. Well, just so you know, I drove my boat. I trailered my boat down to the pit on Friday night, so we'd be ready to put in the water after the biggity boat race that took place.
45-0. Hey, and Coach, you have to be pretty proud of Josh Forsey, 4 rushing touchdowns. Now that's 7 on the year. And, by the way, the gym this week scored that 4th touchdown with 9 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. So, Coach, was he, like 2 weeks ago, was Josh saying, hey, man, don't take me out. Let me score that touchdown. I ran it 10 times in a row.
That's right. Coach, put me in. I don't want to sit over here and eat popcorn. Hey, 7 touchdowns, 2 games. That's almost a touchdown a quarter. He hadn't played in the 4th quarter either one of the games. Had over 200 yards, but, Josh should be the first one to tell you can't do that without the guys up front, opening the holes, paving the lanes. And, hey, man, Josh, you've seen him, you've met him. He's not the tallest running back in the state, but a very, very muscular, very compact kid. And, man, when he gets going downhill, he's a load to take down. Runs really, really hard. So who knows, if he'd been playing 4 quarters a game, he'd probably have 10, 11 touchdowns. So, but at 45-0, I'm more impressed with as many points as the Cougars have scored. 8 quarters, 0 points. It's awesome.
It is. It really is. Brendan Jones, another nice game. TD pass to Kofi Boggs. Gerald Anderson also with the rushing TD. Fairview, they play at home, sorta.
Yes.
They were supposed to play on the turf. Had some issues with getting that ready. Looking forward to this week with Stewart County, which is going to be a big game.
Yes.
Opening up the turf there at Fairview, but they get the 28-7 win versus Creekwood at Page, but officially a home game. Kennedy Pendergrass, 6 completions at quarterback, 2 for touchdowns. Also a rushing touchdown, 106 yards passing, 70 rushing, Tate.
Yep, I think he was like 7 for 11, 6 for 11, something like that. And that right there, that's the recipe they want. If they can get that out of Kennedy, they're going to win most of their games. That's what they want right there. Dual threat guy, and he can do that. And that's a nice win over Creekwood. I think Creekwood came into that game, I don't know why, but I think they came into that game thinking they were going to win. And you're right, how funny is that? They go back to Page the second week in a row, which I know is tough. It was tough for Coach Hughes. Hey, by the way, did they stand on Page's home sideline?
I don't know that.
I can see Coach Hughes saying, I'm not standing over there.
I don't know that. We need to find that out.
We need to find that out. But hey, I know he was happy to get that win. Very cool. And Crawford Claxton with both of those touchdown receptions. So you can see him starting to develop.
Layden Grant, 11 tackles. Jacob Clevenger, 9. Ken Curtis, a rushing touchdown. And when you look at Fairview, you see a lot of multi-sport athletes when you start looking at those stat lines. Franklin and Page, the WCTV game of the week. Page defense only allowed 109 yards of total offense. They get the victory 28-0. Page in that game, according to Coach Rathbone, they played 4 freshmen, 8 sophomores, had a couple of scores by those young guys. In fact, one of which is this week's WCTV Play of the Week.
Hey,
he is a sophomore.
Either way,
young man making big plays tonight. Good stuff for number 14. Bobbled snap. Running back picks it up. The sophomore in the end zone.
You got it.
For a touchdown. Paul, I believe he owes us. We spoke that into existence. Number 14.
Usually Eric Hazard is in the backfield with Hurd, but this time it is Cunningham. And look at that.
Picks it right up off the ground.
That would call a non-assisted touchdown right there.
They may have just run the fumble Ruski on us, Paul.
Yep. Hey, sometimes that's the best way to make a play. It breaks down. You got to improvise and make something out of nothing. And that was Hogan, right? That was Brock Hogan, I believe.
Cunningham.
Ethan Cunningham. He goes in and he takes it in for a touchdown. And that's what was beautiful. You mentioned those freshmen and sophomore. Ethan Cunningham, Brock Hogan, and Eric Hazard. All 3 of them had a rushing touchdown. Eric's a freshman. The other 2 are sophomores.
Incredible.
And this is against a 6A football team. So the coach Rathbones, he's got a stable of running backs right now. And again, that was a great play, a really nice play. The play before it to get it down there. A great job by the PB on the call. And that took him to 14-0. That was a big play.
It was. And, another thing that happened, end of the half, Franklin gets it all the way down inside the 10. If they score there and make it 14-7, you never know, but the Page defense stepped up. Page got a good team. You can tell it. You can tell how Coach talks. And Colin Hurd, another huge night, Gateway Tire Athlete of the Week for Colin. And think about when Jake McNamara gets back. It's only making them stronger. It is.
Yeah. Hey, 199 yards, 27 rushing yards. I know he had another touchdown or 2, 3 the week before, and still doing it while playing almost every snap on defense. Like, when you get to 5A, 6A, that's where you really start to see the 2 platooning a lot, right? A lot of people try to play 11 on offense and 11 on defense. There's still some guys that go both ways. But in 5 and 6A football, you don't see the quarterback playing every snap on defense.
It's incredible.
Except maybe at Trousdale County or Upperman or something like that. It's time to say it like this guy. And Coach Rathbone told us before the season, he said he's one of the best quarterbacks around. He's just at a school where Jake McNamara is. This kid's a winner, man. That's what that kid is.
He is.
And you telling me the rest of those Patriots won't follow that guy? Guarantee it.
Franklin, a bright spot. Jackson Modell, 13 rushes for 40 yards. They played without Bryce Sparks, which is obviously a factor. Ian Arney, 8 tackles for Franklin. Hey, back to the drawing board for Franklin. Coach Melton said it. It's not going to get any easier. They open up region play this week at Ravenwood, so just got to figure out who they are each week, playing a lot of young guys and playing hard right now. The question mark's always, as you lose a few, it becomes harder and harder to make sure you're motivated to practice, motivated to play. Nothing like winning to get you motivated.
Yep, no doubt about it. And there's nothing like a few losses that will, test the inside of that locker room. So that's what matters. The guys inside that locker room, those coaches and those players. And you know what I'm saying? You're the ones going in there and busting it every day together. You got to stay together. And if some people want to have some naysaying outside of that locker room, let them say it. Doesn't matter. It matters what's going on inside that locker room.
Well, the thing I've always personally loved about football, to me, that seems a little easier to do because there's only 10.
Right.
There's only 10 chances. And, football is sort of unique in this way. You can win your last game and not even be in the playoffs, but you can end on a positive, so
Right.
to speak. It's interesting. And every game is such an event, they can get it cranked back up.
No doubt about it. And hey, no excuses. Don't know if they'd have won. But they had several players out. So, it's hard to get better, especially first-year program. And you got so many first-year starters, and then you haven't had your whole team yet. So it's not an excuse. It's what it is. But that's okay. This is another week, like you said, this is another week to get better.
Let's go pretty quickly on this one. Independence with a loss there at Lipscomb Academy. Independence obviously needing to regroup heading into their first region game this week. Some bright spots, Joe Cummings, 151 yards passing, a touchdown pass to River Katina. He did have 4 interceptions. I know that's something that Coach Blade, he'll want to get cleaned up. Trey Hartwell, 45 yards rushing. You talk about Trey, how he runs so hard. And then River Katina with those 4 receptions, 76 yards. Couple of tough losses to some good teams, but I'm sure Coach Blade is selling the first one that counts is coming up.
I remember Jerry Pearson told me this a long time ago, and he always scrimmaged. This is in the early '90s when Brentwood Academy was really good, and he always scrimmaged them last scrimmage of the year. And he'd look at his team and say, "Boys, that's as good as a team as you're going to see all year long. You ain't going to see anything any better than that." And we went out there and went toe-to-toe with them. So just know that that's the best you're going to see all year long, And I thought that was really smart. All that being said, I don't like the way it was handled, and I'm not going to go off on that. But Coach Blade can look at his guys and say, that's the best team we're going to see all year long. Now, let's go out there and let's start region playoff and get it going. But the bottom line is this. It doesn't matter if it's Lipscomb Academy, Ravenwood, Franklin, doesn't matter. You can't turn the ball over as many times as they've been turning it over. They have to clean that up, and I think they will.
I do too. Nolansville, tough loss at Giles County. Giles scores with a little bit over a minute left. It was definitely a shootout, 38-35. Colby Walton, 5 touchdown passes, including one to start the fourth quarter, that put Nolansville up 35-24. It was looking like, okay, we're in pretty good shape, but it wasn't meant to be. Walton, first year as a starter, 18 for 26, 385 yards, those 5 touchdowns, and the one that really stood out to me, no interceptions.
No interceptions.
That's impressive.
Hey, silly comment, but it's true. Nolansville is the best 0-2 football program in the state. I didn't realize BGA was as good as they are. We're getting ready to talk about it. BGA's good. Tough loss. Giles County, I know they're good. Coach O'Connor can coach. Tough loss. But look at that, man. There's some really great things going on offense. We've talked about Kobe Walton. He is going to have a monster year. Got to shore up the defense. But, like I said, they've played 2 really good offensive teams, 2 really good teams. Multiple guys getting involved in it. You mentioned Dillon, Chance Fitzgerald, and Ben Coggin both with touchdown receptions. Samson Johnson with a touchdown reception. So they got to shore that defense up, which that's Coach Derek's specialty. But I'm telling you, best 0-2 football program in the state.
When you talk about Samson, obviously folks are keying on him. But I love to see him catching the ball out of the backfield. You noticed a couple of receiving touchdowns.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. Get the ball in his hands somehow.
Get the ball to your playmakers.
Taylor Wynn, 8 tackles, 2 sacks. Again, they open region play this week. The message will be, okay, let's get it going. Ravenwood with a big win, 35-31 at BGA. They were down early, 19-7. They end up taking the lead, 20-19, and from there it was kind of a back-and-forth game. Chris Parsons scored his 2nd rushing touchdown with under a minute and a half left to secure the win in that back-and-forth game, as we talked about. Parker Corley, a big strip. Lee Millette with the fumble recovery 2 plays after that Parsons score. And you saw the first rushing touchdown that cut it to 19-14. And here's some things I think people maybe don't know. It was 4th down from their own 30. So a gutsy play call to go for it. And then here he goes looking like Bo Jackson again on Tecmo Bowl.
Is this 2 weeks in a row with the Tecmo Bowl reference?
Two weeks in a row, but it really was unbelievable.
Unbelievable, man. And that's what we've been hearing about, right? This young man is different, right? He's got an athletic ability that is just different. And what did the Wolfman say? Players make plays. Big time players make big time plays. That's exactly what he did. And you're right. The turnover by Corley and Millette was huge. 6 turnovers week 1, 3 turnovers week 2. Now we got to get that thing down to 0 or 1. I think they will. But this, like I said, this is a big win because I think BGA is really good, better than they think. And then we found us a tailback, Coach Joins. That was important too.
No doubt. Carter Pace, sophomore, 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. Also, Cartua Chapman.
Yep.
With a rushing touchdown for Ravenwood. So there's some new names there.
Yeah.
You know, so I know Ravenwood's excited about that. And to me, when you see new names, new people contributing, as the season goes on, they're just going to get better and better.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I'm really excited to see the growth of this team because, like I said, that's a good win right there. I don't know that people really realize how good of a win it is, but they will by the end of the year.
Summit in a game canceled by COVID with a win over Spring Hill. Summit has had maybe like 6 games in the last 2 years.
You know, I was thinking about it this weekend, and I know it's not what he's about. It's not why he plays, but I really hate it, man. Destin Wade, had he played a full season last year with what he did his sophomore year, got to play all the games last year, got to play in 4 quarters. He's already missed 1 here. There's no telling what kind of records he would have set. Statistically. Now, I know that's not what he cares about. What he cares about is that gold ball they won last year. But I hate that for him because what we're seeing is, and Coach Kirby reminded me of this. We talked about what he did against Henry County week 1. The year before in the playoffs, his last run in the was it the quarters, I think? Yeah, the quarterfinals against him was a 65-yard. Every time he touches the ball against Henry County, almost it was a touchdown. So I hate to see that. I hate that game didn't happen. I hope it didn't happen for the right reasons, which is COVID. I think if I was there, I would have wanted to have it because I know that would have been the biggest gate of the year, but whatever. But hey, before we go on to the new ones, so you look at all those quarterbacking performances of the year, and we hate that Destin didn't get to have one. If you were going to give the Mike Bobo quarterback of the Performance of the Week award, who would have gotten it?
I'm going Parson.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going Kobe Walton.
I'm going Parson.
Mike Bobo endorsed.
I had to admit you threw me off, so I couldn't concentrate.
I thought I forgot about it.
All right, let's talk about this week's games and also pick'ems. We'll do it at the same time here. So, Tate, you're back. Look, I doubted you a little bit, but the fans go 4-3 last week, so they're now 7-8. Dr. Qualls and I both go 4-3. We're both 8-7. But you go 6-1. You're now 9-6 in first place. Fans keep voting on Twitter.
Is 6-1? Is that boat race worthy?
I think 7 definitely would have been, but 6 close. Fans keep voting on Twitter. WCS CO Athletics. All right, let's jump right in here, Tate. Let's start with this one. We'll talk about it. You make the pick first. Brentwood versus Summit at Brentwood. 0-2 versus 2-0. Obviously, Summit was off this week. Going to be a tough test, but like you said, Brentwood can bounce back. They're one of those teams and schools where when you doubt them, they step it up.
And they got firepower. So you come in there thinking that all you got to do is show up in your navy and orange and you're going to win. You're going to get bit because they got firepower. That being said, senior leadership, they might have the best defensive player in the state. And number 7, I'm going with the Spartans.
I'm also going with Summit in this one. Game 2, our WCTV game of the week. Independence hosting Centennial. It's the first region game for both. Obviously, Centennial selling it as let's keep it going. Independence, this is their first game that matters, is what they're selling. This is a tough pick for me, Tate.
Yes.
But I'm going in a tight one, but coming through at the end of the game, and I think home field matters. I'm going Indy.
What? Oh, okay. Wow. I didn't think that's where you were going. Man, Independence has played maybe 2 of the top 5 teams in the state, all divisions. So that doesn't bother me, right? The 0-2 record. I like what Centennial's got going, man. I knew they were going to, or we knew they were going to beat Lincoln County, but I didn't think they were going to beat them 45-0. I like what my man Forsey's doing. Coach Kreisky's more involved in the defense. I don't go against Blade much, man, when it's, but I'm going with CU. I like what they got going on.
I do too. I agree. Fairview, Stewart County. This one, a lot of implications for a lot of reasons. I know Fairview has circled this game. Stewart County wins the region last year, 27-26 over Fairview. Last game, I believe, of the year, last year, right before the playoffs. They take that all the way to the state quarterfinals. Now, Fairview's going to host them. It's going to be their first game on turf. Stewart County's a good team, 2-0. Had a win over Clarksville Northwest, 35-0. A COVID win last week, so they didn't even play last week. So maybe they're rested, maybe they're rusty. What say you, Tate? Fairview hosting Stewart County.
I think last year was like, you go to some of those towns, and like my dad's from Pitcher, Oklahoma, and they still got it up on the wall back in 1967 because that's the greatest season they ever had. I think that's what happened in Dover last year. That was the 1,000-year storm. It ain't happening again this year. Fairview gets the revenge they've been waiting on for about 9-10 months.
I agree. Fairview, I think it'll be a close one, but I'm definitely going Fairview. Ravenwood hosting Franklin. I think Ravenwood circled this one too. Obviously the teams are different. The coaches are different. But Franklin eliminated Ravenwood second week last year, and I know those players were talking about it. Ravenwood hosting Franklin, first region game for both. I think Ravenwood wins this one going away.
Yep.
Franklin's going to compete, but Ravenwood's going to win this going away.
So I was going to say, Coach Melton, they will compete, but Ravenwood's got too much, they're just better right now.
This one, I don't think we have to spend a ton of time on these next two.
Coach Derrick might be wearing the...
In fact, these last 2 games may have something in common. Nolansville versus Lincoln County.
Where's that game? Do you know?
That's at Nolo.
Gotcha.
First region game of the year. First for Nolansville in Region 6-5A. Page versus Spring Hill. Spring Hill didn't play last week. Their first Region 6-5A game. I'm going to go ahead and pick them both at the same time if you don't mind, Tate.
Yes, sir.
Nolansville, Page, both in blowouts.
Popcorn. Hey, you ever been to Outlanders in Nolansville?
No, I have not.
Okay, they have I think they still do it. They used to provide the food for the press box during the game. They have fried macaroni cheese bites that will knock your socks off. Do you know where I'm going with this? Kobe Walton and my man Samson Johnson are eating fried macaroni bites in the third quarter on the sideline. You with me?
Yeah.
And then Page, that's Coach Rathbone. Come report to the deck, please.
You think that hat would fit Coach Rathbone?
No. But he'd like these sunglasses.
He would like
Coach Derrick and Coach Rathbone are they're both on the boat. They're both fighting for the boat captain hat. They'll both be wearing it next week.
Well, that's interesting. So it boils down to Centennial Indy. Do I tie this thing up this week, or do you get a 2-game cushion after week 3?
Hey, as we know, history tells us 2-game, 3-game cushion, that's a pretty good lead, as tough as this competition is here.
It is. It is. And we're going to be hearing from the Centennial folks. They were, I met them last week, met the O-line. Nice young men. They're very interested in what's going on in the show. So I'm sure I will be hearing about it, or maybe you'll be hearing about it. If they get that W, they'll be on your side, because they were a little upset with you last week.
They were, and I'm hoping that I've won back the trust of the Summit faithful. I thought I was going to have to change my number after the Henry County pick. I said I hope I'm wrong, but so hopefully Coach Coleman and Coach Kirby and Coach Taylor and the rest, I hope we've made up now.
Tate, appreciate you being here as always.
Yes, sir. Friday night's going to be fun.
Oh, it's going to be. It's always fun.
Always fun.
It's always fun. Thanks for joining us for Sports Connection. We'll see you next time.